Good evening, good morning, whenever you're going to be listening to this. It's me again, late, many weeks behind. That's just me. I'm just going to come to the conclusion that's just who I'm going to be, Mr. Procrastinator. That's what I am. But anyway, besides all that, how's everybody doing out there today? Had a great day off. Got a lot done around the place, some cleaning. Put my youngest son to work. Got him only for about a month or so. He's heading up to the Coast Guard here next month. Very proud of him for that. And so he's going to be going off and just doing some new things in life for himself. So we just got one left at the house. But besides all that, just been working. That's all I've really been doing. Just been racking up a lot of hours. Well, what I can. And that's another talk. Sometimes they cut my hours a little short. Sometimes they cut me big short. But anyway, is what it is. But I am beginning back on the truck starting this week here. And so I've got a lot of shifts lined up on the ambulance and got to make that paycheck. And kind of looking forward to it. But you know what? I'm just going to keep it at 12 hours. I'm not going to be doing any 24-hour shifts. No sense in doing that. No sense of killing myself. Anything like that. I just really enjoy my sleep. I am feeling the benefits of really getting a good night's rest, to be completely honest. And you know what? I'm just kind of beyond that. I just want to just make a little side money. And what's great, that get paid opposite payday. And so I'll be getting to have hopefully having a check coming in every Friday there. But enough about that. What to talk about here. And I had some things lined up, and I hear things. I'll be driving, listen to a podcast. I'll hear something. I'm like, oh man, that sounds great. And I'll text myself, maybe the subject matter of it. I goes, man, I need to do a talk about this or expand on it. And then it just dies out and it fizzles out. And so maybe it was just more important to me than I thought it needed to be important to be sent out wise. But I will talk about yesterday. As far as going into work wise, it was I was working the 1-to-1 and been picking up a lot of the shifts of the 1-to-1. And personally, I like it. That's a shift right there where 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be sending you home. You're going to be the one probably sending other people home if it's slow. So, but that 1-to-1 shift is pretty good. I thought I wouldn't like it. I'm like, well, got to make a paycheck. And so I signed up, and I tell you, it goes fairly quick. But I tell you, the great thing is I kind of get the best of both worlds. I get to work with my day shift friends, and I'm starting to get to know night shift. Don't know as far as a lot of them. I mean, I know them, but as far as working wise, don't know a lot about them. And probably the same about me. But anyway, it's good. And, by the time I get home, get in the bed and everything, it's probably between 2 and 2:15 in the morning. I'm okay. If I can sleep to about 9 or so, I'm tired, but I'm functional for the most part of the day. But anyway, enough of that about that. But as far as shift wise, we've been it's that time of season. As far as fast track triage, whatever you want to call it, 6-boy, lazy boy, curtains is where I'm at. And so we've been having a big uptick of your colds, your flus, your sniffles, your this and that. And believe it or not, we're having a huge uptick of STDs. Chlamydia and gonorrhea. I swear, if I have to see another backside to give penicillin or Rocephin in the backside, it's crazy. But I don't know. Maybe it's just the cold weather. Everyone's getting up. I don't know. It is what it is. But a lot of the sniffles, a lot of the colds, the flus, and sometimes we got some docs that really can just get them in and out. Basic stuff, get them in, swab them, get them out. Get the next batch in. But I will say one thing. My co-partner, she runs the 11-11 shift. So she was working up front. And I mean, just getting hammered. And she looked real tired. and I was just watching her wise, and they put me back in the gold zone, and not a whole lot was going on, really, to be honest with you. And so as far as that wise, so I kind of would sneak up there, and help her out. And because as far as a medic in the ER, there's times, we're just real fluid. We can move around and of that nature. But with that being also said, is we had a lot of holds. I think we might have had a total of 11 or 12 people in the ER that was just waiting for a bed to open up to admit them to the floor. So basically, there wasn't a whole lot for me to do and help out. And after doing my supply stocks and this and that and another, and so I went up there and just started helping her out. And I mean, it was just a lot. Excuse me, there. Just a lot of little things that that it just piles up on you there. So when it's all about said and done, 7 o'clock rolled around, and so I took over for her, and I tell you, it picked back up again. And I'm just telling you, I could work pretty good at a fast pace, but I just could not catch up. It was just a lot of little things in my mind. I'm like, you hear these doctors, they talk, well, let's go ahead and we're going to do some X, Y's, and Z's, and we're going to pull some A, B's, and C's, and let's just, and they come in there with a sniffle. I mean, and they're giving them like a full cardiac workup and such, and 99.9999% of the time, it all comes back negative. Nothing just shows nothing wise. But I tell you, it is very time consuming to get back in there. Very time consuming to run EKGs. And sometimes there's a couple of them I have to do. Then I do full lab works up. And who do I go to first? There's people waiting to be discharged. There's people out front. I'll look on the computer and there they are. Sniffles and colds and stub toes. My tummy hurts. And 20 to 25, 30, 19, 18-year-olds. I know where they're coming. They're coming back to my area, which I don't mind that, but it builds up. And I just tell you one thing, I could not keep up. And I mean, I just literally I wasn't tired, but I was just getting so frustrated at myself to where I just couldn't do it. And my thought process is always, one patient, one care. But I really had to diversify, if that's the right word to use, and spread myself out, do a little here, do a little there for that patient, come back to this one here when you can give me some urine and I'll finish taking up this lab right here. I just started really just getting just down and hard on myself because I just couldn't keep up. Charge nurse rolled around and kind of started helping me out some. They knew I was, as far as I think it's more as cleaning the chairs, things that's a big help because I always like to leave a clean area. But it was just like that for the most part. And I will say one thing: I suck at splinting. As far as we don't do fiberglass splint. Well, hold on. We don't do plaster splints. We do fiberglass external splints until they can get the ortho. And sure enough, there was a guy there, and ankles all swollen. He's getting ready to get X-rays and things. In my mind, I'm like, this man's going to need a splint. But I'm thinking, I can do it. I've been taking notes. Been watching some, we have some techs that are just fabulous splinters. I mean, they do such a good job. And so, this guy broke his heel bone. And she named up some fancy name splint. So I looked it up, watched it. Hey, nothing wrong to get on YouTube. And I was looking. I'm like, okay, I think I can swing this. So I get in there, start doing my thing, get it made, get it wrapped. And sorry for the yawning. I'm tired. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So it wasn't the prettiest thing, but it looked like what I saw on YouTube and other pictures. So the doctor comes, they check him out, and she was like, oh, this is supposed to be like a trigeminal, try something, and that's what it was. And I told her, well, this is what it showed me when I saw it. And she goes, no, it needs to be, there had to be another splint placed around it. And I'm all like, well, I suck at that. So I had to go get my friend up front. She came and she did it for me, and she did it quick. And it looked nice. It looked beautiful. And then I'm starting to go around feeling just like a bigger piece of dung, because yeah, I got patients building up. I have chairs that need to be cleaned, labs that need to be done, IVs that need to be started, and I'm just dragging my feet. Could not get my rhythm, or whatever it was, and then I get into the constantly apologizing, and nurses like, don't worry about it. We all get that way. We all get that way. Even a lot of them said, and the nurses, they were busy too. They had one patient down the hallway that had to be intubated, had a brain bleed. And so there were a lot of people, hopping on that to get things done on that. They had some sedacious conscious on something on another room, so they had to get special equipment. Everybody was busy that day. And so what's the point of me saying all this? It is what it is. We all going to be, we are all our own worst critics. We are going to be on ourselves, and we are going to be putting ourselves down and saying we're not good enough, and I'm not going to be good at this. What am I doing this? I'm not going to be a good nurse. And when I was back at Gold Zone, I heard one of the I would say that newer nurses. Maybe a year or so, and she would say, she was in conversation with someone saying, I just had just a real bad year. She goes, being a new nurse, and just because I hated working here, and because there's a lot to learn, and for being a new nurse. And so, but now she's doing a lot better. And she's a fabulous nurse. I watch her, and she's very she do things very well. But a lot of times we just get down on ourselves. And what do? The big thing is just to sit back. You need to prioritize. Look on who needs what and when do they need it. What's the most important wise? Or should I spend an extra 5 minutes on this one where I know if I get a quick COVID or a flu swab, they're going to be out of here within probably 10 minutes because there's nothing they can do for them. That opens up another chair. Empty out the waiting room in the front. Or do you need to get these labs done that are very important? Someone may looks pretty sick. Or what about medication-wise? You got to pull these meds, got to give these meds. And so there's a lot to be going on. A lot of times is you're going to have to find your flow. When you're going to be getting out being a new nurse, and you're going to be trained, so you got to find your own flow. You have to watch what works for other people. It may not work for you, but you may be able to say, you know what, well, I like what Johnny's doing on this certain thing that he does, but I like what Susie Q's doing on this right here. And you can glean from other people's experience and glean from what they've been doing, for what they're doing wise. It takes a while, and it takes sometimes years and years to really perfect the craft. It's just like with me. I feel comfortable at being a medic. There's some things, I hate respiratory calls. I literally hate them. But I've learned to be comfortable around them. So, but as far as medic-wise, I have got many, many years under my belt, and I have picked and chose from other medics I have seen saying, ooh, I like that. I think I'm going to pick that practice up. And then I look at some and say, ooh, that does not look fun, and that's not right. I'm not going to be doing that in my practice. So, with all that being said you have to find what works for you. Y'all going to be finishing up here. This is mainly towards my LPN class I was in. These are the ones that moved on to get their ADM. They are wrapping up this week, I believe, in their test. They have a final, and then they got to do some kind of ATI comprehensive test or something. It's been a tough semester for them. And I don't know how the outcome's going to be. And then they're going to, hopefully the next semester is going to be easy. May's going to be graduating. And there you go. You're going to be done. So, and then you're going to be thinking back once you're on the floor learning, going, you know what, school was easy. And then you're going to be having days to where you don't want to do it. You're going to having days to where you're going to feel like you're a poser, you're an imposter, you're a faker. They'll say you fake it till you make it. We do that all the time in medicine-wise. We do it. But the good thing is you do fake it till you make it. But you know what? You go back and you learn and you reevaluate of what you did. Things that worked, things that didn't work. How can I make it better next time? So, with that being said, you got to find your stride in that. So, with that being said, thank you for turning in. Thank you for listening to Nurse Daddy here. For all y'all getting ready to be taking those tests coming up this week, you do good. Keep your nose in the books. Never one question, one answer. I will be hopefully seeing you next week, or you'll be listening to me next week on the next podcast of discussion. So, y'all have a good evening.